The National Youth Service Corps was designed to unite Nigeria, but in recent years, Corps members have become victims of insecurity, from kidnappings, assaults, and even killings to community rejections and welfare neglect. The outrage following the recent reported assault on NYSC Corps members in Anambra once again brings the issue to the forefront. Parents are asking, should the government continue to post their children to unsafe states? States are promising more security, but is it even enough? And what systemic reforms are truly needed to keep Corps members safe? This is where I welcome you to Politics Uncensored, where we cut through the spin and get straight to the truth. Our goal is to provide a platform for open and honest discussions where experts and everyday citizens like yourself can share your perspectives and insights. Of course, it's your favorite show, and we have two expert guests who will be joining us very soon. I'm your host, Okikiola Taiwo Jalopon, and you can call me the Polyhumanitarian. And I'm here to make political discussions accessible to you all. We want to hear from you because all of our episodes is all about you. So be a part of the conversation every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to add your voice to these discussions. You can also head on to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to join the show right now. Our phone lines are also open to you. You can call us on 070-2500-7749 and 070-1424-2420. Let's hear what you have to say. Of course, we'll go on a short break right now, and we'll return with our guests and take our top stories in the political space making headlines. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back shortly. Uncensored, and today we'll be asking, are NYSC members safe? How are we going to start rethinking security for Corps members in host communities? I will say again, in recent days, outrage has spread across Nigeria after reports that some Corps members in Anambra State were allegedly assaulted by local security personnel. These young Nigerians deployed to serve their nation suddenly found themselves victims of the very people meant to protect them. The incident has reignited fears about the vulnerability of Corps members, not just in Anambra, but across the country, where cases of harassment, kidnapping, and even killings of NYSC members have been reported over the years. This raises serious questions and concerns. Are our Corps members adequately protected? Is the NYSC still serving its purpose of national unity, or has insecurity made it too dangerous? And what urgent reforms are needed to safeguard these young people? To explore this conversation with me, I'm joined by two guests, Dr. Law Mefo, who is the Commissioner for Information, Anambra State. I also have Augustine Ega, who is the Security and cyber expert. Together this afternoon, we'll be examining what really happened in Anambra, and more importantly, how we can start to rethink security for Corps members nationwide. Do I have my guests here? Okay, good afternoon.
Yes, I'm here. I am Dr.
Yes, so before we get straight into our conversation for today, I want to read a story and definitely hear your insight or your perspective about this story. And it's still discussing insecurity. And a group here is saying here that insecurity will persist unless governance is fixed. And the story says, the non-governmental organization Partnership Against Violent Extremism Network in Nigeria has attributed the spread of violent extremism in the Northwest to years of failed governance, poverty, and unresolved historical grievances. It said insecurity will remain unresolved unless governance failures at the local and state levels were decisively addressed. And, it went on saying, amplifying voices for peace. He's saying, according to Gaskier here, extremist leaders and groups exploit the frustrations of citizens, particularly young people who feel alienated from the citizens and the system. So the story reads quite a lot of things, but leaving out just the northwest, the northeast, or the north in general, insecurity has started to spread around the country. So, first off, this has been associated to governance, and this group is saying that unless governance is fixed, nothing is going to happen. What do you think about that? And if you have a different perspective, I would like a solution-driven answer at this point. What else can we do to address insecurity in Nigeria? If Dr. Mefo could start, I wouldn't mind.
Well, I don't know. You see, I speak for the government of Anambra State, and I am always wary about commenting on national politics. And the reason is because my role is restricted to Anambra. And if you want to talk about security in Anambra, that I will tell you so much about. And as regards the experience of Jennifer and her colleagues who are core members in the month of July in a community in Anambra called Oba, well, it was an unfortunate incident, a one-off incident. Not prevalent. Yes, insecurity is everywhere around the country. And Anambra has had a fair share of that. And the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukuma Soludo, is addressing it in the most comprehensive manner. Starting with what you may call the governance.
Dr. Mefo, we would ask deeply into what Anambra is doing differently. I'm just asking suggestively what you think can be done with insecurity in Nigeria. But I would like Augustine to take that mantle now, as he is a security expert. So, Augustine, would you be able to give us a suggestive measure on how Nigeria can start to tackle insecurity?
Yeah, thank you for having me in your show. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. How to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria is a topic that we've always talked about, and I think Nigeria is such a society that has grown very big. From what we used to have, like the central policing system we used to have, Nigeria has grown very large both in population, and the policing system that they have now is very inadequate to cater from some of these your analytic statements that you've made regarding protecting the NYSC and all of that. And I think the governors, so commend him. I know where he took Anambra from, and a lot of work he has done. For you to be decisive about security, you must step on toes. They will call you names. And I want to really appreciate his courage. That is just one thing that all governors need to do. He has started well, and whatever that has happened there, I believe, is one of those things. You don't expect the 100% system. There will be some flaws, and you keep improving on the system until you get it right.
Absolutely.
So there have been agitation for state policing, which I believe would have helped Nigeria this far. But there's also a resistance from some quarters not to have it. But somehow, I think that some state governors, one Anambra, Moteko in Oyo State, that is southwest, and some states in the north, they have taken their own extra measure to have these security outfits. I think this is one thing, because these security outfits, they are ground to the ground. They understand the environment, the geo area of wherever they are posted to work. The local intelligence, local knowledge is extremely important to deal with criminality and insecurity.
Yeah.
So I think due to the resistance from above to have state policing, the provision that these state governors are doing is very in line with getting it right. And so I believe this is just where I believe Nigeria can get it right.
Thank you very much, Augustine,
They will
for
complement
that.
they will complement the military in intelligence gathering, and that's fine for us.
Thank you very much, Augustine. So, yes, that's all we can take on the political news brief this morning. So we'll go on a break and, of course, return going deeply into addressing what really happened in Anambra and how we can move forward from that. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back shortly. Yes, welcome back. If you just tuned in, we are discussing and asking our NYSC members safe, and we're starting to look at how we can start rethinking security for core members in host communities. Our phone lines are definitely still open to you. You can call us on 070-2500-7749 and 070-1424-2420. I still have Dr. and Augustine here. So I'll start with Dr. When we started, you were taking us through the journey of what happened, in Anambra, and you said it is a one-off situation. So these reports came in and sort of got people very agitated, where people or core members were assaulted by local security personnel, and it has caused a lot of outrage and fear. So I'm asking now, as the State's Commissioner for Information, could you clarify what exactly happened and what immediate steps your government has taken to address the situation and also reassure core members serving in Anambra?
Thank you. First, like I said, the state government is appealed by this development, quite embarrassed. And because this is not us, this is not Agune Chamber, which is the name that the new law has given Anambra Vigilante. It is not Operation Udogachi either. It is not us. And that is why I told you that this is a one-off isolated case. And what we found out that happened was that the members of Agune Chamber of our community went to the lodge or house where they were told housed some Yahoo boys and girls. And of course, if you read the Anambra Homeland Security Law 2025, you will see that indeed the new outfit, the Agune Chamber, is created by the new law to assist the police in information gathering, in tackling insecurity in Anambra State. So what you regard or call Yahoo boys, particularly the Yahoo Plus, which we believe is a really intense and criminal, even involving blood sacrifice and all that, is a part of what they should be looking out for. So the legality of what they went out to do in that house is not what is at issue here. It's the way and manner they went about it. The law creating them never contemplated assault. It doesn't give them the right to brutalize, dehumanize, and depersonalize they perceive the victims. The girl here was assaulted. In the video we saw, which outraged not just every other person, but particularly the government of Anambra State. The governor, even the wife, had to call the girl. So that's what they went to do there. And the girl, from her own account, which I listened to somewhere, she said that the way they burst in, they didn't identify themselves, and she particularly demanded that they identify themselves and allow them to make a call to their superiors to put them in the know that they were being taken away, and by who and to where. And the response was that brutalization. That is unacceptable. That cannot be a contemplation of the law. That cannot be their SOP, the standard operations and procedure. That cannot be the code of conduct under which they must operate. So they were clearly pursuing their job outside the guidelines, outside the guidelines, outside what you may call bounds of civilized conduct. So that was the reason when this happened in July, the first gut response of the government was to pick them up, have them arrested and interrogated and suspended from operations. In fact, 2-3 days ago, they were outrightly dismissed from the service completely and handed over to the police for full investigation and prosecution. They have to answer for their deeds. And ordinarily, we should have waited for the courts to pronounce them guilty or not. But we can conclude some of these on our own because we gave them standard operations and procedures, guidelines, and the code of conduct. If it is outside, it is sufficient for us to dismiss them from our service. And that's one measure we have taken. Then for the girl particularly, when this happened in July, around the 23rd of July, when this happened, the first thing the leadership of Operation Udogachi did, apart from arresting and interrogating this, was to take care of the girls' medical needs, physical and psychological, the trauma involved and all that. We pick the medical bills and we still pick more if need be. And then, of course, pay the kind of restitution, because we understood herself and some of our colleagues, they lost a number of things, like their phones. I think a laptop was also involved. All those things have been replaced. That July. And the prosecution of these offenders, they could have also taken place in July. But initially, the girl and her parents, and her family, they were reluctant about the pressing charges. And you know that in a criminal matter, it's between the state and the suspects, the offenders. Then it means that the state will have to rely essentially on a witness. And in this case, it is the girl that is the star state witness. And it means that our role in their prosecution is almost inevitable. And she was reluctant up to 2-3 days ago. The police in Anambra, I was in touch with the police PPRO, CSP Ikenga Tochukwu, and he was still pleading with the girl to come forward so that she could help the police in the investigation and prosecution. And I am happy to announce that the girl and the family are now coming forward. And the First Lady also has spoken with the girl and invited her over to herself. Woman to woman, give her succor, and, to reassure her that she has nothing to fear from her service in Anambra and all that. And if you know Dr. Nonye Soludo, a First Lady and a mother like no other, she is looking out for the girl, and you can be sure that this is one matter she will not let out of her sight. Like I said, it's a one-off, and it is important to tell the youth corpers in Anambra, youth corpers, not just the youth corpers in Anambra, but their parents and relations, anywhere in Nigeria, anywhere in the world. Those of them who have people who are serving in Anambra, they need to know that Anambra remains one of the most hospitable and safest states in Nigeria. We are very hospitable people, very, very hospitable people. Many of the people who are not from Anambra that live in Anambra, many of them don't even pay rent. Those who live in my house don't pay rent. All I ask them to pay me is keep my compound clean. And it's mostly the same thing. And, there is a policy that is driven to the extreme by the governor of Anambra State. Professor Chukwuma Soludo is looking out for merit, and that is why the 8,115 teachers he hired, he drew them from 18 states of Nigeria. The people that constitute Agune Chamber, Operation Udogachi, more than 40% of them are not from Anambra State. More than 20% of them are not even Igbo people. We are looking out for merit. Anambra is home for all. Anambra is light of the nation. People are safe here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mefo.
Yes, when it comes to security, we are also getting security right. Anambra is recovering its status as the safest state in Nigeria, peer-reviewed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mefo, for that clarification. And it's commendable. Yes, and it's commendable what Anambra State has done to address this issue and the length that they're willing to buy or to give back that public trust. So thank you for that clarification. So Augustine, let me bring you in here right now. Beyond what Dr. Mefo has said, beyond the government assurances, many Nigerians are still very worried that incidents like these are not isolated, but are part of a wider pattern of insecurity where core members face across the country. So from your perspective as a security and cyber expert, what are the major risks these young Nigerians encounter in host communities, and why do you think the current security framework has failed to fully protect them?
Thank you so much. I think one of it is information. Like we have the Commissioner of Information, there should be a lot of orientation and reorientation of those communities. I think if you look at the structure of Nigeria, we have up to the ward level. The way they win their elections from the ward level down to state government, I think they should use those medium. They already have platforms through their parties. They should use these platforms to inform these communities about the safety of these corpers, because they're actually coming to serve them. And most of them are in every local government and in every ward. So the people should understand the value at which these corps members bring to their own communities. And so that they will be friendly enough with them and assist them in any way they can, in case they are in any situation that is not comfortable. They should do everything. I am happy to hear what Dr. DeLaw said, that he asked some of them, just take care of my compound, don't pay. We need to have people doing this for them, so that these young people will not be scared of going to such communities. I think secondly, I have heard what he said in his analysis. I am quite happy that they were able to withdraw or recruit a lot of these security from different regions to form their security outfit. But I slightly disagree with that kind of recruitment process from the professional angle. If you want to rebuild the goal of this security, it should be within that same geospace. Why? It should not be like the federal policing, where they are drawn from Nasarawa. You draw someone from Nasarawa, from north, to come to the Igbo state to come and serve. We want people, the idea of this local force is to ensure that they are local. They are local in the community. They understand the culture. They have the local knowledge to be able to identify those red spots and then communicate effectively with the upper level, which is the police. From what I've seen in their own doing here, I think they lack training. The guys in their attitude, from the analysis, I just want to take from what the commissioner have said. Those guards, those security officers, they lack adequate training. And their structure is questionable too, how they report their incidences. I think they should put more eyes in training. And of course, to me, professionally, I would say they should recruit from within Anambra State and nothing more. In fact, if it's the community-wise, it's better, so that the community identifies them. If they are committing certain crimes that will really not, that will speak very bad of the government or run down the government, the PR system, they will know immediately. Not people from different angles. You put people from different states. there could be compromise for political reasons, and they will run down the system. The whole of it will come back to the governor as not doing enough. So that is my take. And I've just discussed that reorientation of the communities, they should reorientate them, why these SCOP members are important to them, because they bring a different thinking, a different perspective into their communities, and they have a lot to contribute.
Thank you very much, Augustine. Dr. Law, would you like to respond to Augustine's statement in terms of recruiting process?
Yes. I think a clarification is needed here. When we say we recruit from everywhere, it doesn't mean we bring people from outside. In fact, perhaps up to 40% of the Anambra don't live in Anambra State. It means that Anambra has a very large reservoir of non-Anambra, non-indigenous, very large. So the people we are talking about are not brought from outside. They are non-indigenous, non-Anambra people who live here, who live with us. They are stakeholders here. They too need security. So when it comes to local content, they have formed part of the local. They live with us. They are part of us. So in recruitment of security, we don't discriminate. We don't discriminate those who are non-indigenous, yet they live with us. If they live, that they are stakeholders and should form a part of the security architecture. That is what we have done. So it's not necessarily asking people to come into Anambra and become vigilantes from outside Anambra State. Oh no, that is not the idea, and that is not what is the practice. The practice is that the Anambra who live in Anambra to form part of the security architecture, because this is where they live, this is where they work, this is where they should protect. That said, I want to also add that you see, my friend talked about training. We are aware of the place of training in formulating proper security that will really be sustainable and deal with the nitty-gritty of insecurity, as it were. The members of Operation Dogachi and Agune are fairly trained. And as we speak, they are undergoing fresh training, or rather retraining, by the Nigeria Police Force itself. The new CP in Anambra, I don't know whether to call him new because he's been here for more than 3 months. CP Koyi Otogo is the one oversighting and supervising this training. It's all part of professionalizing the new outfit. I told you that the way Soludo has approached this, he started with the governance and legal framework by formulating the law, Anambra Homeland Security Law 2025. That is what created the Agune Chamber and also led to the launching of Operation Udogachi. Maybe there is a need to distinguish between the two here. When you hear Agune Chamber is the name the new law has given our new security architecture. Before now, they were called Anambra Vigilante Group, AVG. The new law said that their name now is Agune Chamber. Operation Udogachi, on the other hand, is a hybrid security strike force made up of 6 security agencies. Our own Agune Chamber is part of it. The lead or modern security agency in Nigeria, the Nigeria Police, the Army, the Air Force, the Civil Defense, the DSS, they are all part of it. What that means is that if
I think Dr. Law's network.
Complement of Udogachi, complement of Operation Udogachi will be made up of these 6. It will be made up of these 6. So let me quickly also inform you that those who undertook that Oba community Corpus Lodge operation, they are actually members of the local vigilante of the town, which is Agune Chamber, not Operation Udogachi. Operation Udogachi operates more At the state level and local government level, Agune Chamber is more of a community base, all created by the law. So they are the ones that undertook that operation, and it went all right because they went out of their code of conduct to carry out an operation in such a barbaric manner. You know, you assaulted eight able-bodied men, fully armed, descended on a single girl. You know, beat her up and tore her clothes to shreds. What kind of nonsense is that? So there is no way the state will tolerate it, not just because they are core members. No, for anybody for that matter. We are looking out for abuse of power on their part, and we are dealing with such a problem. They confer in between, which means that the generality of the Agune Chamber and the Operation Dogache and their operations are actually good and restoring security to Anambra State. Let me give you one reason to believe that security is being restored to Anambra. Before Soludo became governor of Anambra State, 8 local governments in Anambra State, particularly Anambra South Senatorial District, were under siege by these hoodlums. But two things happened in between last 1 month and the last Saturday. Last month, the Independent National Electoral Commission organized the continuous voters registration exercise. And they commended Anambra that the 326 wards that make up Anambra State all participated in the continuous voters registration exercise. And last Saturday also, the INEC organized an off-season by-election for Anambra South Senatorial District to replace my late friend, Senator Ifanyuba, and 70 communities in Anambra South. That was before Soludo became governor, very security challenged, all participated and recorded turnout that we consider unprecedented. Over 90,000 people turned out for that election. I'm talking in terms of just the valid votes alone. So the 70 communities in Anambra South all participated, which means that security is back to Anambra South. And that is the most security challenged part of Anambra State. If that place is having a fully or considerably, significantly security restored to it, it means that Anambra is recovering its status as one of the safest states in Nigeria. So corpers are welcome, as always. And any of them that has any reason to complain about anything should reach me. I'm not saying reach me, call me directly. They should call me, reach me, and we will resolve whatever problem it is. There is no reason to believe that corpers are targeted in Anambra. No, it's impossible. We were all corpers ourselves. I was a corper, and the governor was one. We were all corpers, and we all served outside Anambra State, where we were fairly treated. And here we are. So why shouldn't the younger ones, our younger brothers and sisters, be protected in Anambra under our watch, under a professor of economics, a professor as governor, as compassionate and as humane as Soludo is? Corpers will be targeted in Anambra. It is impossible. So let the public know this and take it to the bank that not just the corpers, all Nigerians are welcome to Anambra. Anambra is the home for all. All we want you to be and do is be responsible. Just be responsible, be law-abiding, because you will pay for whatever infractions you commit, because that is what the law says. And as long as you have not committed or to commit any criminal infraction in Anambra, you have nothing to fear from anybody, not from our Operation Udogache, not from our Agune Chamber. They are there constituted and trained and deployed to protect us all, especially the vulnerable ones like the corpers. They have nothing to fear from Agune Chamber or President Dogachi. Please.
Dr. Lawrence. So I'll hold you to that when I visit Anambra soon, you are going to personally take me on a tour around Anambra to see how safe and beautiful the city is. So we'll go on a very short break and, of course, return, still going deeper into this conversation and then wrapping it up as soon as possible. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Thank you for staying tuned. We are still discussing the NYSC case and looking forward to how we can start preferring solution to some of these insecurity challenges. So I'm going to ask Augustine right now, do you believe the NYSC in its current form can still achieve its goal of national unity without putting young people in harm's way, or should it be radically reformed or even suspended for now? Because I've heard where people have been clamoring for the National Youth Service to be extended into a year and a half, some say 2 years. So do you think that this should be radically reformed or even suspended, especially in volatile areas?
I remember NYSC corpers in the 80s. Before they send them to those local communities, they always have a quotas. It's not as if we didn't experience this. They always have a quotas where you know that this place belongs to NYSC core members. People don't go there anyhow because that is where they lodge. But today, I see that the government of the day, especially those that receive them, they are not looking into it. They don't look into their welfare. And that is why we're having some of these attack against them, because they are their guests. This is their guests from another place, and whoever that is visiting your place is your guest. They are the ambassadors of Nigeria, I can say, being sent in that capacity to those various states and communities. As they should be well catered for, even where they should stay. The information minister, information commissioner, and the governor, they should always be thoughtful where these people will reside. That is where we need to start from. They should be mindful where these people will stay, where are they coming from, and where are they going. They should take it very serious to protect these youths from being molested and killed. That is not good at all. That is not the service we expect them to render. And my own take is that states who are not doing well in security-wise, they should not even allow them go there. I can tell you this, because we see the effort Anambra State is putting. I know how Soludo took up that place, and I can praise him. He's doing a lot in security-wise. He has done a lot. Whatever that's happened is normal, and I'm sure that every system always demands for continuous improvement. I know they will do that. That's a feedback. But we have some states that are not concerned. The governors are not concerned about security. So I don't see why we should risk the corpers going to such states. So if they don't have coppers, that is a signal for them to sit tight and do what is right for Nigeria. So I am very blunt on this. States that are not doing well, they don't have a good security formation. They should not even allow coppers to go there. They are our children. We shouldn't allow them to risk their life that way. They are supposed to go and come back. Not that we go and carry their dead corpse. I think we don't like that. It's not something that we should expect.
Thank you very much. As we are starting to wrap up this conversation, let me just ask you before I go straight to Dr. Mefo, in just one sentence or two, what's the single most urgent step Nigeria must start to take right now to guarantee the safety of core members?
They should be mindful of their safety. They should plan security for core members. Plan security for core members before their arrival.
Before they, so it should be a pre-planning when they are there and even post-planning, because I've seen many cases where core members have successfully finished 1 year of their service and on their way back to their home or back to their state, they get kidnapped or killed or something just happens to them. So it should, you are suggesting that it should be a security from start to finish till they get into their... Nigeria is very quite interconnected statewide, so I believe that this is a very huge possibility. So thank you very much, Augustine, for that key suggestion. So let me ask Dr. Mefo, you address first, do you think that the NYSC should be radically reformed or even suspended, especially to volatile areas?
Yeah, no, I don't think NYSC should be scrapped. I think it is still very necessary, very useful as a tool for national unity, integration, and development. But I also think that their roles will have to be redefined. I think they shouldn't just be thrown into the space to find their level, even being forced on organizations that don't want them, that don't need them. We have so much they can do in areas of public enlightenment, in areas of even specialize their functions. You know, like I just talked about public enlightenment, and Nigeria can never have enough of that. Helping to drive home federal government policies and programs to the grassroots is enough responsibility for the core members. And also I agree with my brother who said that, look, we need to have capacity lodge. I believe that every local government, every ward in Nigeria can afford a corpus lodge. And you secure it, a corpus lodge. You know, you secure the place. And in Anambra, you have Agnes Chamber and Operation Udogachi. Like these ones that attacked them should have been given the charge of these core members that you have to secure that place. If they had that kind of responsibility, I don't think this issue of attack, would have arisen or be contemplated by them. I also think that where it comes to areas that we consider to be red states, the corpus will not be.
I think Dr.
to those places,
okay.
Unless it is based on voluntarism, that the corpus agree that they want to go to those places. Yes, if they agree to go to such places. Because if you look at the way Nigerian security system grades the states, some are red, some are amber, some are blue or green or something like that. All the states that are on red should not the corpus, unless the corpus agree to go to those places. That is my simple, considered opinion. And I agree mostly with my colleague here. Everything he said for me is top-notch. He's spot on, and he's spot on. And I agree with him, and I adopt, and I have added one or two. Okay? So Thank you.
Thank you. The beautiful thing about conversations like this, and even when we have expert guests like you, is the ability to take key takeaways from part of the conversations that we have. I've learned quite a number of things from both of you, and also looking at, I might not be living in Anambra or any of the states that you both live, but how can I start to imbibe the act of being my brother's keeper, just like Dr. Mifo is already doing in his own capacity, beyond what little things can I do, beyond even when I can't do it in, in big numbers, beyond just thinking that it's a Nigeria thing, but as an individual and as a body generally. So thank you very much for this conversation, and thank you for serving justice. One of the things that we find very hard is when we all clamor for justice over and over again and we don't get it. So I would say that I commend Anambra State and even your office for taking these issue very seriously and starting to put things even beyond the current issue that's happened. They've started to put in proactive measures in order to, avoid this kind of issue. And I hope other, state governments and states can now start to take notice of how important it is for justice to be served and for everyone to feel safe in whatever state they're in. So thank you very much to both of you. I really appreciate you joining the show. So, yes, so one thing has been very clear today. Our core members who are a symbol of national unity must never be treated as expendable. The NYSC, in my own personal opinion, is a very noble idea, but its survival depends on how seriously we take the security and welfare of those serving. We've heard the government's assurances and we've heard the security concerns. Now the responsibility lies with both the federal and the state governments to ensure no core member's life is put at unnecessary risk. Protecting those who serve is not optional. It should be the bare minimum of a government's duty. I am the polyhumanitarian, and this has been Politics Uncensored. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed. Before I go, do ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow us on all our social media handles. Remember to like and share. I'll see you again next week on another episode. Goodbye.